No, get rid of that. All of the banners and stuff like that. Hey, how's it going, Rob? Things going well? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? I'm going to get used to looking at the right camera. I wasn't sure whether there was anyone going to join me for this, but apparently there is, and that's nice. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So what I might actually do, if you are more than welcome to continue to just good day. that is good. I'm glad to hear it. If you're wanting to, I don't know whether you've got a mic or camera or anything like that, but if you are so inclined, you are more than welcome to join in the studio. Let me know and I can put the link and then I can bring you in as a guest, which is a crazy, crazy concept. So what am I doing? If I do that, I can post it to you, which is nice. And I can also put your text up on the screen, which is saying that you enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. I thought that I was surprised by just all of the extra stuff in there, like I guess I don't know what you call it, well, basically all of the stuff with the white vision. I wasn't sure where we were going to go with that, and that ended up being a thing, and quite a big thing too. So yeah, interesting. To those other people who are watching, there we go. Yes, God damn you, Paul Bettany. If there is one thing that we have learned, I'll just hit the microphone. If there's one thing that we've learned from all of this, is that we can't trust anyone. We cannot trust anyone to actually say, that they are, if there's actually somebody in the film or the TV series or not. And I guess it does go to prove that that whole thing that the Olsen lady, Elizabeth Olsen, was saying about the huge surprise casting and everything was Evan Peters. So what do we think of that particular reveal, the reveal of who or what that particular version of Quicksilver was? Are we down for it? Do we like it? Like Predakanga, hey, how's it going? I have no idea who Oz 1989 is, but welcome. Hi. I'm just talking crap here. If people would like to join in, let me know. That's Will. Hey, Will. Hang on. Which Will? I know many Wills. So many Wills. Oh, is it as in Will from our friend who is into all things animated? Is that the Will that if there's a Will, that there's a way? Hang on. Oh, good. So this is the Will from the Multiverse of Madness. Excellent. Well, what I'm going to do in the chat, I'm just going to put the invite link. And if you go in there, I should potentially be able to bring you all in. And then we can talk about it. You could actually, if you've got a mic and you've got a camera or anything like that, we could talk about it. I'm playing around with this stuff too, because like if I want to, I can also like have multiple cameras and multiple screens. I think if I do that one, you can see I can put the episode on in the background, which is very clever, but at the same time, probably going to break my internet. And I don't really want to. Yeah, no, doesn't like doing that. So we won't do that anymore. Okay, that's good to know. So now, if I have a look in here, what have I got? I'm trying to keep an eye on the different ways that people can come in. So once you click through, you can have a look at, you'll be in a room, and then I can let you in and we can have a bit of a chat, talk about some stuff. So I probably should have made notes before we started, talking about all of the different episodes, and where we think maybe things went right or went wrong. Do I have you at all, or are you all just trying to get your microphones and stuff sorted out? That's the link for those people who would like to try and join. Yeah, so, okay, looking back, I think for me, the really interesting stuff was all in the first few episodes. Hey, there we go. So I see you there, and I'm just going to see whether I can add you in. I can.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hey, go on, dude.
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very excited. So, welcome to the show. You are now officially on, not the podcast, but just the Twitch stream, because this is me going, hey, can I make this work? Turns out I can.
Magic.
Yes, it is magic.
This is chaos magic. You're a Scarlet Witch.
Oh, good. Sweet. I'm going to have little horns and a cool mask, and that's very exciting. So what do we think? Do we like that last episode?
I thought it was really good. I think I kind of foresaw that there would be a little like, they didn't reveal Mephisto, because we all know everyone thinks everything's Mephisto.
Are you disappointed by the lack of Mephisto?
No, not at all. Because I think, in terms of and a lot of this stuff gets ignored when you're trying to solve the puzzle box every week. But in terms of the thematics of the show, I thought it was a really good ending, and gave closure to Wanda's journey. And I think that was probably the important thing, rather than it just being, here's Mephisto and here's this and here's that. That wouldn't have necessarily been a good show.
No, I agree, absolutely. And I see that we also have Rob, who has joined us, so I'm going to add you in. Rob, how you doing, dude?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm feeling pretty good about all of this, and so far the whole thing's not falling over and dying, so that's exciting.
I'm using new technology here, so
look, as far as I'm concerned, you're doing an amazing job. And I don't know whether this is all going to fall to pieces anytime soon, but I'm okay with that. So, Will was just saying that this is kind of what would you say, like an appropriate ending?
Yeah, I think so.
It was, sorry, go Rob.
I said it's an ending of sorts.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. There was a part of me that felt like I wanted a bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the whole Paul Bettany thing of him lying to us and saying that there was going to be an amazing guest star or whatever, but maybe I was waiting for a big explosive reveal ending thing.
Yeah. I know. I think, if it wasn't Paul Bettany, we were expecting, Benedict to turn up, or Samuel Jackson, or just somebody from the bigger MCU to turn up, and they didn't. And that's a small letdown, I guess.
You agree with that, Will?
Yeah, I think it's always hard with these things, and especially, I guess, COVID probably had something to do with that not happening, perhaps. But I guess it depends because, like, they sell it as this thing and like, oh, it's leading into Doctor Strange. So I think a lot of people are like, oh, Doctor Strange is going to show up, and like, oh, Doctor Strange is going to start right at the end of the last episode. And I think it's just sort of like, I don't know, maybe the Mandalorian set expectations in a certain way that they never really wanted to.
It set a terrifyingly high bar, didn't it?
Yeah. Like, if you don't have Luke Skywalker kind of thing, then like, okay, what do you got, Marvel? Nothing? Oh, well,
Was this the first episode with a sting right at the end of the credits? Because I know we've had a couple of episodes where there was a sting in the middle after all the colourful graphic credits. But was this the first time we got it right at the end?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Cool. So I haven't missed anything else then.
No. No, that's I think the stingers started in episode 7. And then we got another one in episode 8, and I don't think there was a right at the end of the credits for episode 8, was there?
One thing I did miss from this, I would have liked one last theme song.
Oh yeah. One more WandaVision song somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, what was your high point of the episode?
High point? I guess the final revelation of Wanda's actual costume. It's not just a bunch of civvies anymore. It's an actual costume. So I'm guessing in less than a week we'll see all the cosplay costumes come out, which will be great.
Our regular Ardella Beck, whatever. There's a Comic-Con happening this weekend in Sydney, Oz Comic-Con. And so we were trying to push her very, very hard to do an overnight Scarlet Witch costume. And she's like, actually, no, fuck you guys. I'm not going to do it.
That might be a bit hard.
Yeah, especially considering I don't know that she's even been watching the show, but we're like, no, dude, you got to do it. Just con crunch real hard. And she's like, nah. Yeah.
But I did like how Casper Vision turned out. So very cold and calculating to begin with. Hey, you got Casper Vision, and then you got Wendy the Good Little Witch. So it balances out.
I like it. I like Casper Vision though. I'm now going to call it that from now on. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I kind of thought that, I was worried because like the whole thing is like, how do you wrap up everything in 50 minutes? And especially something as big as, having an entirely separate version of Vision kicking around. And admittedly, they didn't actually wrap that up at all.
No, I was very disappointed that we saw no hint of Ultron. Not even something in a stinger. Just nothing.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I guess it depends if they were sort of trying to make him Ultron, I guess, or not. I sort of got the feeling it was like, oh, this is going to turn into, just new Vision eventually, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
you go, Rob.
I was going to say, if it wasn't going to be Casper Vision becoming Ultron, at least the programming of Ultron still being in the background of Sword somewhere. He was the guy manipulating Hayward to rebuild the Vision.
Yeah, that was weird to me. I thought there would be something more going on with Hayward, and there was not.
No.
Yeah.
I thought he would not just be. Yeah, I was like, I thought he wouldn't just be like evil government dude, but he was just evil government dude.
Yep. Ready to shoot kids.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, that's pretty evil and pretty government-y, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's hard to surpass evil governments these days. However, in comic book world.
Yeah. You have to like dismember somebody's beloved partner and then angle grind their head in the middle of a scene before you're evil enough to actually be a proper evil government. So
Yeah.
So we got okay, so Nebula Jazz Monkey. I feel they need to leave a few things open, including Casper Van Vision. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
They'll
get some Funko Pops out of him.
They already have.
They have, yeah.
Are you lining up to buy?
No.
I'm also disappointed that Darcy disappeared so quickly. We got no closure on her.
Yeah, I thought that whole line of what was it? I don't do debriefs.
Briefings at the losers or something like that.
I feel like so often with these things, like, you know, you try and make up an in-universe explanation for them, and so often it's like, oh, she finished filming and we didn't have any time.
Yeah, we had her,
or she got COVID or something like that. You know, like, who knows? It's probably something like that.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried that they'd kind of forgotten her because, like, you know, she was in a truck on the edge of town, and you're like, but, and I agree. I do think it kind of undercooked her character a little bit because, you know, she'd been so important up until that point.
You know, but just for episode 4, 5, 6, and 7. So for 4 episodes, she came on very strong, became a beloved character that everybody wanted, and then episode 8, nothing. Episode 9, gone.
Yeah, 2 seconds of screen time and you're out. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But it's funny. I saw a thing saying somewhere that here are the movies to watch. Like, I think Marvel put it out themselves. Here are the movies to watch if you wanted to get everything you need to. And it had both Thor and Thor: The Dark World. And I'm like, oh no, Marvel.
I must be one of the few in the world that actually enjoyed the second Thor movie.
Yes, you are.
I can see it for its charms. I mean, yeah, I can see the faults, but I can also appreciate the charms of it as well.
Which is there hasn't ever been a bad Marvel movie, right? Like, they've all been like fine to great, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like, bad Marvel is like, oh, okay, it's still better than, sorry, DC haters, still better than
you know,
I knew you were about to dive in on some Snyder Cut action there.
It wasn't a Fantastic Four, it wasn't an X-Men 3, you know.
No.
Yeah. And when you say Fantastic Four, which of the terrible films do you mean?
The third one. The one that I haven't watched.
Oh, the Fanforstic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is terrible, but also, I mean, just equally on par with basically the rest of them. Like,
you know, look, it's a good achievement to be like a career-killing film for someone, right?
Yeah, you got to be proud of that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Like, to go from like, this guy just made a super hot superhero movie that everyone loved and it's a cult classic kind of thing, despite certain other people being involved with it, you know, to going to like, you have no career now. It's pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Basically, being the reason why the Fantastic Four comic disappeared from Marvel Comics for a couple of years, because the movie was so bad, Marvel didn't want anything to associate with it.
That's pretty rough, isn't it? I didn't just tank my own career. I also managed to shut down an entire wing of comics.
Yeah.
Plus, that was all Disney Fox stuff happening too, I guess. You know, like, they didn't want to use X-Men and Fantastic Four for a long time because they didn't own it, so they weren't going to promote it through comics. I think that was what was happening, apparently. But.
Yeah. So, okay, how disappointed is everybody that we didn't get to see whoever that the designer was, it the space engineer or whatever he was?
Didn't we?
Oh, because this was the thing. Yeah. Wasn't there the thing with Monica? No, Monica? Yes.
Yeah, Monica.
She was going to get in touch with her friend who was a genius aeronautical engineer or something like that, and everybody was absolutely convinced it was going to be Reed Richards.
and he just didn't show.
Yep.
To be fair, though, he would probably, like, real world, he'd just send someone. So he just sent that woman, and that was it.
Yeah.
He's
back in the lab working on the second prototype. So
Yeah, he's too busy.
Yeah, absolutely, and makes complete sense.
Yeah,
but I feel like
it doesn't make great TV, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Do you feel like they were basically just introducing a whole bunch of stuff, and giving you a whole bunch of hints and stuff like that, so that everybody would go crazy, with all of what we've been doing on the thread, with absolutely no intention of paying off most of it?
I think they were testing the waters to see what the fans want and what the fans don't want. So the fans want to see Mephisto. The fans want to see Fantastic Four again. They're testing. So even though we've had 3 bad Fantastic Four movies, we still want to see the Fantastic Four in the MCU in whatever shape and form. We want to see them there, and that's what If anything's positive, basically, Marvel, Disney's going, okay, Fantastic Four, chalk that up for 2024.
So this is like one big testing. What are they called?
It's a big focus group. Yeah,
focus group meeting.
Thank you. Yes. Congratulations. Do you feel used yet?
Always, but that's just the corporate hellhole we live in.
Yeah, it's true. Hello, Martin. Martin is saying, where was Bandersnatch Cumberbund? I don't know where Rubber Band Berrywinkle was. I did feel like at a point where they were shooting all of the fireballs and stuff all over the place, I was expecting him to rock up.
Yeah. He's not a very good Sorcerer Supreme. He didn't know about Thanos, and now he doesn't even detect something, just in Jersey across the river.
God, yes.
She's better than him now, so she didn't need him.
True, but just to have him turn up, after the fireworks had gone down, Agent Wu's directing traffic, and Dr. Strange walks in and goes, okay, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah. I did find it odd for all their this movie ties into Doctor Strange that there was no hint of anything with Doctor Strange whatsoever. Apart from her mentioning Sorcerer Supreme and the Darkhold, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's something else that I'm ever so slightly snarky on, and it's just because I'm a real stickler for in-universe continuity. Yeah, tiny little bit of a stickler. Tiny, yeah, yes. He's one of the Avengers, Tiny Snark. He's Irony Man. But the Darkhold, I'm like, yay, they called it the Darkhold. Why didn't they use the design of the one from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Other than the fact that it's kind of dumb.
If I can be honest, I think it's because the one from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of looked like it was from a cheap TV show. the really modern, text and all that kind of thing didn't look like it was an ancient evil book. It looked like it was from Hot Topic.
Yes. Rob, do you have anything to add to the Darkhold from Hot Topic?
It's a magical artifact that can turn up whenever, wherever it likes, and what its shape or form. So, it doesn't obey our regular laws of physics. So,
yeah, okay. I'm going to go with your explanation.
Just like Malcolm in the Middle DVDs, don't question it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's a magical book. Don't question it.
Yep. Okay, fine. I'll go along with your arguments for it, but
look, I think at this point, let's just quietly decanon Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well,
it was fine.
I haven't seen the final season, so I'm not quite sure what happens there and how that manages to disqualify it from being official MCU.
It's the end of the second last season would have managed perfectly to have stayed completely in canon with MCU. NCIS, MCU. It would have managed to have done that, perfectly if they'd just had Agent May or what's his name? Fuck. Coulson, thank you. I'm a real big fan, I swear. One of them dust away. That would have been absolutely perfectly fine. But because they didn't do that, and then they started jumping around through time, like in the last season, it suddenly just goes, okay, the snap didn't happen in this particular universe.
Okay, because I haven't seen the last season. I've seen up to where basically they were taken forward in time to a shattered Earth, some kind of space station. Then they came back home, and then it was the whole LMD thing. And then...
Yeah. Like, you were doing your level-headed best to keep up with that particular show and its bizarre-ass plot lines.
Yes.
Nebula Jazz Monkey, I would say boners are canon, but Ralph Boner is not.
Boners are canon, or a kind of canon. Yeah, classy. Actually...
Fire only once canon.
Yeah, well, and then wait 15 minutes or something like that. But no, I'm a little disappointed by that whole. Actually, I'm not even just a little disappointed by that. I'm proper disappointed by that.
I'm sorry I belittled your beloved book with the shitty upside down text.
No, screw you, Will. It's not that I love the book. In fact, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I do think it looked like something that was designed on a CAD machine and then 3D printed and then aged badly. But I just like internal continuity, and that's all I fucking ask for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just want to say I'm actually a little disappointed by the boner.
Yeah, that didn't have the payoff or the punchline or anything, that I guess the writers were expecting. Had they said he was some kind of established speedster in the MCU, that would have been a nice payoff. Not necessarily Robert Frank, the Wizard, but there are plenty of other, speed. Yes, I know.
Sorry, if we've gone from boners to the Wizard, and quite frankly, I can see why nobody takes the Marvel Universe that seriously.
I know. But there are so many other established speedsters in the Marvel Universe that any one of them could have been, Ralphie Boy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like I feel like I keep being like the resident, like, guys, stop being so... don't be so hard on them kind of thing. But like, I kind of like, it was always just going to be stunt casting, right? Like, they were never going to actually be like, oh, it's the X-Men thing, and blah 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 blah. Like, it was always going to be like a tease, and then they'd be like, oh, it's just some guy. That's what Marvel always does. They did it in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin, and they did it again. It's the same thing.
I wasn't expecting Agatha to be able to reach across the multiverse and pluck out somebody else and bring him here. I was thinking more along the lines where in the Flash series, where they've got that one guy who can play so many different versions of the Flash, and but he's a different character in every universe, but he carries the same face. Wesley Shipp, whatever his name was, the original Flash from 1988.
That is John Wesley Shipp, and he is a national treasure.
Yes, he is.
But I love him in a probably unnatural way, especially because he was the dad in Neverending Story 2.
Never saw that.
Now that is the sequel, not... Is that the sequel or Never Ending Story as well?
As well. No. No, it was the sequel before the third film, which we will never speak of.
So wouldn't the sequel be the appendix?
No, I had that taken out. Yes. I like the fact that every time I say a joke that is that bad, Will's just like, no. Not being a part of this.
I'll stop being the straight guy.
No, I like it. I need people who react with pain to the comedy. It feeds me. I'm like
It's
Agatha.
It's good because I'm
Agatha.
usually that person. So it's good that you're like another level beyond me. So now I look like the normal one finally.
That's a terrifying concept. You're the normal one. Yes, yes, Dion. Comedy. I know it's hard to imagine, but it's true.
White Vision. What is this comedy you talk about?
Comedy with a small c, not a big C, just a small c.
Yes, and it's what is comedy if not jokes persevering? Oh man, that line. Oh god, that line really.
I feel really bad for like the person who shared it because she was just like this like, oh, I love writing kind of person on Twitter, and she was like, wow, this line really spoke to me, and then just a bunch of people just went and shat on them all over Twitter, going like, what a load of shit, this is bullshit. Like anyone could make up that line kind of thing, and like,
I feel sorry for the writer because the writer, that was actually a very good line, but now it's just a beautiful line. It's been reduced to a wall hanger that's, live, laugh, love type thing.
Oh god, yeah.
My favorite was someone was like, they copy paste the tweet, and then if they had like Archie's speech about American football from Riverdale, it was like, well, if you've never been in high school, you would never know the tragic highs and lows and emotional downfalls of American high school football.
Is that the actual?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Good old Riverdale.
I've not watched any Riverdale, I'm pleased to say.
First series is all right.
Oh, okay. Right.
Don't bother beyond.
Now I want to see a series called Rivendell, where it's elves going to high school during in Middle Earth.
I'd be in for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
There's loads of those, like they have Attack on Titan Junior High and like Muppet Babies and that kind of thing. We definitely need like Lord of the Rings High and that kind of stuff. I think.
Absolutely. I mean, what I'm really hoping for, just because I'm all about the ties to the X-Men universe, is I'd like them to find a way to incorporate was it X-Men Evolution?
Mm-hmm.
Which was X-Men at high school, which was entire great animated series that made zero sense in continuity because they all go to they go to the Xavier school, so they don't go to a high school. But anyway, Dion's asking how many super ambitious cosplayers will attempt a series finale Scarlet Witch costume for OzComic-Con this weekend. Well, we know one that we challenged. But I don't think that Beck's gonna do that. I would like,
Don't underestimate the power of a cosplayer. I've heard stories where from just the stories from the Ruby fandom. Basically, the guys from Rooster Teeth flashed up some character, designs one day, and within about 24 hours, this group of girls managed to turn around and recreate those designs, just a flash design, and turn them into costumes the very next day. So if there's some determined cosplayers out there, this weekend we'll see it at OzComic-Con.
You could probably like take the sleeves off an Ant-Man costume and like that kind of thing, put a hood on it and that kind of thing. Be fine.
Yeah. I many years ago, we did at one of the first supernovas I ever went to or worked at. We were staying at this place in Brisbane called the Manor, which was this, I guess, a backpackers basically, like, I don't know, 120 meters, 200 meters away from the actual showgrounds. And I remember that there were four of us sitting in our room, bunks and stuff like that. And yes, Poke, you remember the Manor. And listening to cosplayers fart-assing around until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning in the very next room. And I couldn't sleep at the time, so I started composing a song which was called "Sleeping Next Door to Cosplayers" to the tune of "Living Next Door to Alice." Yeah, it was 24 cans of hairspray in their bag. They don't know where they're going. And I can't remember where it went after that, but, you know, sleeping next door to cosplayers. Shut the fuck up! I have...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I have very bad memories of that one because we also found out that that particular place had bed bugs.
Oof.
Yeah.
I just remember,
Yes.
I've only ever
Were they
been
holding,
to, I've
were
been
they
to a
holding
couple
that
of,
at a Trump hotel?
Now you go, Rob. Sorry.
I remember once going to a Supernova, a Comic Con that was at the Brisbane Showground once, and that was where was the aircon? That place was just hot as, uncomfortable as.
Aircon is for earners, Rob. Earners.
Oh,
If you're showing up to one of these things, you better be paying the big money so that you can get into one of the air-conditioned rooms.
oh.
No, I have...
My only bad con story, because I'm not like a huge con person, but I might be. But I was working at New York Comic Con a few years ago for a certain thing. And
that was a big swinging dick there. You did well.
Oh,
that was very impressive.
I
I was at New York Comic Con a little while ago.
Not to name drop.
I've only been at a New York Comic Con, but you work there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been to one too. We've all been to a New York Comic Con here. Aren't we all cool?
Okay. Mr. Swinging Dick of the cons himself, David Quinn, who goes to every con imaginable so he can say, "Oh, I work there."
Yeah. Okay. Tell us your story. Let's just stop throwing salt at each other.
We were backstage, which was possibly air conditioned. I don't remember, but it was only October, so not the important part of the story. And there was someone with us who was a little elderly, and I was like, "Oh, do you have like a wheelchair for them? Because it could be a bit hard to get them around the con floor, so you have to go here and there and back and forth and whatever." And they're like, "Yeah, sure. Do you have like ID on you?" I was like, "Well, I'm from Australia, so I only have my passport." And they were like, "Okay, we'll have to take your passport."
No.
To get a wheelchair for this celebrity that you're meant to be looking after. I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do that," kind of thing. And they were like, "No, that's fine. It'll be fine." And I was like, "Okay, I guess so."
Yeah.
So I took it, and then I was like, "Oh, where's my passport?" And they were like, "Oh, it'll be like in one of the offices." I was like, "Do you know which
fucking
one?" They're like, "Oh, one of these three." And I was like, "Oh, great." Cool.
Are you aware what a passport means?
Yeah, it was sitting in like a shoebox at like the entry gate to the whole con. I was like,
holy shit!
Oh, good. Thanks for that.
Good. I hope that elderly person really appreciated your sacrifice.
Not particularly, no.
Ah, good. Yeah. So Nebula Jazz Monkey says, how do you think this will lead into Falcon and Winter Soldier? And is there any speculation as to what Marvel is working towards? I don't think it's going to lead into Falcon and the Winter Soldier at all.
No.
I think
not that.
No, this is there'll be very few times for Winter Soldier. Maybe we'll see Sword, maybe a small hint of Casper Vision, but that'll be about it, really.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty separate to that. I think in terms of where WandaVision was sort of headed, I guess you got, the Captain Marvel 2 tease, and then you had Wanda at the end, sort of hearing her children's voices through the magic of the Darkhold, that they're in another multiverse somewhere, which I assume will put her into contact with Doctor Strange, and they'll go through the multiverse and find her kids again. But
yeah,
was that the same cabin they used for the Incredible Hulk movie right at the end? Because that'd be cool if it was.
I do, and now we're both going to Google madly. Hello, Jedi Vader. Oh, hola to you too.
I'm seeing the Incredible Hulk.
What? How could you have not seen the Incredible Hulk?
So right at the end of the Edward Norton one, he's in a cabin in the middle of, I don't know, Canada somewhere. And it just, what we saw at the end of WandaVision reminded me of the end of Hulk. And I'm thinking, if it's the same canon, that would be perfect payoff. If not, then, well, okay.
And I think
you know what? I just Googled it, and the first thing that came up was Was this the same cabin that was used by Coulson as a safe house for Daisy in season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well,
So they may
Possibly.
just use the same cabin ad nauseum. I'm not sure.
I do love the fact that now that everything, all of the answers have been given, all the stories been told, everyone's like, yeah, but was it the same cabin? Like we're focusing on some real fucking granular shit right here. And
Hey.
yeah, Poke, he was in Brazil. I think at the end of it. And
No, he was in Brazil at the beginning of it. He was in Canada at the end of it.
see what I was actually hoping for.
Similar, but not the same.
Yeah, I was really hoping when they started looking at the water and the mountains and everything like that, I was like, is that gonna be Alkali Lake? And is that Canada? Oh my god!
I just figured she went back to Sokovia and she was in like the Sokovian wilderness. But
yeah, well, the interesting thing about that is that particular cabin was also destroyed by Steppenwolf and a bunch of like the flying bad guys from Thing, and her entire family was in the back of a truck being pushed by the Flash at one point.
Oh, good. Yeah, those Unreal Engine assets really get around.
They do. Dion, yes, we're all a bit disappointed that Bandersnatch Cumberland isn't in this one, or Benadryl Crumplesnatch, or Cucumber Bundersnatch. I mean, let's just keep. Fuck you! I'll mix as many euphemisms as I like. Yes. Any other raises on Benadryl Crumplesnatch is are going to be very popular. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Sokovia probably where it was. It had that European kind of vibe, like the little painted windows and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm thinking those were like runes that she scratched in, on the outside of the cabin. But I still got northern Canada vibes, Wolverine country.
They're probably pretty similar, I think. Probably parts of, forests in Canada and Europe.
Absolutely,
pretty similar.
I mean, and if we can go by anything that we've ever seen on Canadian TV, perhaps any science fiction show that's ever been shot, we know that the redwood, forests of Canada are a pretty good stand-in for fucking everything.
Yes.
And in fact, I'm pretty sure Vancouver is also a just generalized city that is a pretty good stand-in for fucking everything.
Or Atlanta in this case.
Yeah. So this was all Atlanta, was it? This is Georgia.
Yeah. I saw the peach at the end.
Oh yeah,
but not the peach everyone was hoping for. But.
No,
points to the designers of this. They managed to create a small town. Points to them, just for being able to, design that for so many different eras. And I'll need to go back and do a stop pause on all the movies that showed up on the big marquee, because at one point I think they had Wizard of Oz, The Big Red, and I don't know, The Great Escape or something like that. Basically, just nice little Easter eggs.
Well, the one at the end. What did we think of that?
Sorry,
I didn't get the reference for that last one at the end, but I'm
okay. Me being the massive science fiction nerd that I am, the Tannhauser Gate. So if you are a fan of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, you would know that what's his name, Roy Batty, has seen attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion outside of the Tannhauser Gate. Blade Runner, yes.
Right.
Which I'm guessing is a bit of a nod to the whole Vision, becoming self-aware thing.
Yeah.
Which was very nice. I thought that was a neat little reference.
Clever. Yeah, I guess that movie theater came up around, I forget which episode exactly, like 5 or 6, when everyone was furiously discussing whether it was the 90s or the 2000s as the reference.
I think it was episode 6 when they had the Halloween special.
Yeah,
because they were playing The Incredibles and Parent Trap at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, did they actually put the Parent Trap in there?
Yeah,
yes.
That was the...
Oh, Neat.
I don't know which version, but it said Parent Trap, so
Clearly the one with the Olsens in it.
possibly.
Or
I didn't
Lindsay
know the
Lohan.
Olsens made one.
Wasn't that Lindsay Lohan?
Lindsay Lohan.
I was sure that the Olsen twins are in one of those Parent Traps films. And now a man Googles things on the internet.
Watch a man
Olsen
Google the
twins.
Olsen twins.
No, don't do that. That's here. Let me share my screen. No, that was a film called It Takes Two. No, hang on. I'm going to share my screen. Share that. That one. Share that. Right. So there's the Parent Trap, 1998. But yes, I think the Olsen twins one was It Takes Two.
Right.
My apologies.
There are many of the same movie, to be fair.
The Olsen twins still showing the Parent Trap of the 90s. That's why I was confused. Not because
there's nothing wrong with a good spiritual successor.
Yes. Okay. So just looking at the chat, we got okay, Lindsay Lohan was in 2 of them. Oh my god. Okay, so what else do we need to talk about? Distinct lack of Mephisto. Are we upset?
No.
I think Mephisto was the bunny all along. That's
Yep.
why it's called Mr. Scratchy, because of course that's Nicholas Scratch. If we want to get into like deep devil lore for a minute.
Absolutely. Who is also Agatha's son in the comics?
Yeah, I think like I sort of brought this up at some point on the thread, but I thought that there would be some sort of tragic, like, I lost my son and I need your power to bring him back to life. Look, he's stuck in this bunny kind of thing. That seemed like a very Marvel thing to do, but she just wanted her power, so that's fine too.
I think that kind of weakened Agatha as well as a villain. If she had some kind of motivation beyond, I just want to take your power, we needed some kind of more motivation for Agatha to actually want Wanda's power. There had to be something else beyond, oh, I must feed. I must take your power and be the only one.
Well, I think I would have been happy even if there'd been some kind of reference to, I need your power for something else.
Yes.
I mean, we all thought it would be, I need to take your power so I can release Mephisto or Schumer, or whatever. And whatever. But now she's going like, you don't know what you released, kind of thing, as in she didn't want to release whatever Wanda released. So, but I assume whatever Wanda released was herself becoming aware that she's the Scarlet Witch, was going to end the world. Yeah, I kind of wonder now. My little like big brain prediction is that they don't bring in X-Men too soon, but they kind of want to do Dark Phoenix, so they do it with Wanda instead of Jean Grey.
Let's be honest, they can't fuck it up any harder than the X-Men films have every single time they've done it.
Yeah, they've done it twice, if it's not X-Men, then while we're not doing Dark Phoenix again, this is the Wanda story.
Yeah. What was that, Rob? They've done it twice and got it right.
They got it wrong twice.
Yeah. Actually, I will say they've done it 3 times because they did it on the anime. Oh, actually, no, 4 times. 5. If you include the animated versions.
Oh, and there was a version on the X-Men anime, which was...
Oh, shit, really?
Man.
Okay,
Which
6. There you go.
Now streaming on Netflix.
Oh. I swear to God, we didn't pay him to say that. That's oh, hang on, I've done the wrong thing. Oh, sorry. Jared said, "Holy crap! It is the same set between WandaVision and Agents of Shield. Which set? Which set are you talking about?"
I think he means the cabin.
You said.
Right.
No,
he said the town. The town is the same town.
Oh, is it?
Would not be surprised.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, realistically, production-wise, that's a backward set.
Yeah. There's only so many studio towns.
Yeah, like if you've ever been to Universal Studios in California or whatever, you drive through one of the backlot sets, and yeah, like it's the same town that is the town out of Gremlins. It's the same town that's in Back to the Future, and 300 other TV shows. You just dress it slightly differently.
I thought it would have been like fun if they had, for every episode when they were doing the different sitcoms being like, oh, their house is like the Brady Bunch house this way. And they sort of did it, but if they actually put them in like the actual sets on the lot kind of thing, that would have been like, oh, they're in the Psycho house this week, or they're in the Twin Peaks house this week kind of thing. Would have been quite funny.
Yeah. I was still like, I loved the first 3 episodes because it was so, it was a concept piece. Like we're doing, 50 sitcom, 60 sitcom, 70 sitcom, and we're going to replicate it as tightly as humanly possible. And I thought that was really cool. And there's a part of me that still wishes that they'd kept that structure a little longer. Like I would have loved to have seen them do a 90s animated episode where it's, a combination Simpsons / Family Guy. But it's all, Wanda doing animation. Maybe perhaps a little excessive.
No, the Dario style animation for WandaVision.
Oh yeah, Dario. Nice.
That would be true 90s.
Yeah, or what's the not Bob's Burgers? What's the
well,
Critic?
Yeah, Futurama, Simpsons, Critic.
Yeah,
that was all around the same time.
Yeah.
South
We'll.
Park.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm very amused by the concept of South Park WandaVision.
Yeah, I guess there were a lot of like famous sitcoms that they couldn't really do because it didn't thematically fit WandaVision, right? Like, I guess like especially the 90s, which they sort of skipped over, and they were really doing the 2000s, although that is a topic of argument apparently.
Well, also the 80s and 90s got smushed together as well.
Yeah, like, and the 90s didn't really do anything interesting anyway. It was just like a...
What are you talking about? Full House was in the 90s.
Yeah, but that was just like an 80s sitcom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But like they couldn't do Frasier, or they couldn't do like Will and Grace, or like the 90s sitcoms, because like it's not a family sitcom. It's like
they could have done a Friends type thing.
But that's not a family either. It's like old friends, right?
Yeah.
So they needed like family sitcoms through the ages where there's kids and husbands and wives kind of thing.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that you said before, Rob?
Don't know. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. I talk too much.
No, you don't talk too much. I just know that, okay, part of my thing is I'm very much about guiding, making sure that everybody gets their voice heard. So in the chat, Park says, I don't know, I got the ideas that Agnes wanted chaos magic to supplement her own powers in some way. Find out how her magic worked. Yeah. I don't know. I still feel like Agatha was a bit undercooked.
Yeah, I got like the feeling that she was like, I don't know. I kind of thought they were going to go like, oh, she's like evil and doing all this kind of thing, but it's because she knows that she's a witch and she's trying to teach her how to be, and she'd sort of become like a helpful character rather than this
but
villain.
They didn't really
she sort of
elaborate on what she did wrong back in the Salem trial days. They just kind of put her on the stake, said you've been a bad witch, you've been learning stuff you shouldn't be learning, naughty, naughty, naughty. Now we're going to execute you. They don't elaborate on what it is that she actually did. Was she trying to free Mephisto? Was she trying to contain him?
Or was it she was just trying to use like dark, possibly chaos magic, right? And then they were like, because that's why those witches had blue magic, and then she had purple, because it was kind of halfway between good and evil magic.
This continues to be a problem for me. As a colorblind person, the semiotics of colors in magic and the semiotics of color language on screen, for me, they may have been firing blue magic at her and she turned it purple. I couldn't fucking tell. I was just like, yep, there's a lot of lines of magic flying all over the place. I was very impressed with that.
Yeah.
The red stuff, I could tell the red. That was nice and easy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we don't get to the point where there's green magic, because then I'm really screwed because I'm red.
Well, that would be Doctor Strange. So enjoy Doctor Strange too.
The end of episode 2, when it went from black and white to color, that was totally lost on you.
Oh yeah, no. The good old jokes about color blindness. It's such a stupid word.
Sorry, low hanging fruit.
What, you can see them? I thought my shot's up here. Oh, good. What about sex magic? Dion asks, what about sex magic?
Well, Dion, if you've ever seen Twin Peaks: The Return from 2017, you'll know there is sex magic in that show, and I would recommend that you enjoy that in the meantime till it comes into the
sex magic in
MCU.
an episode of Buffy?
Yes, I think there was. There was also what's one? Blood Sugar Hex Magic. That's a very popular album in the 90s. Sorry, I'm making terrible jokes about the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not proud of this. There we go. Now we're talking sex magic. Right.
I feel like this is getting dangerous for my career in a minute.
That's okay.
So
yes,
this screenshot will live in infamy forever.
Yeah, so probably.
I think that needs a K after the C too.
Oh, sorry. Okay, hang on. I'll get rid of that one and do it again. Is that better? Hang on. There. Okay. Right. There. Is that better? Did it need the C and the K?
If you had to follow the what's his face Crawley.
Oh yes.
Way of doing it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
As I'd know with my skull T-shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at you being a badass. Hot topic all the way.
Yeah. That's how I knew where the Darkhold was from.
Okay, Nebula's in the previous episode, Wanda's flashback explained her relation to TV shows and the Hex. Got some mad Borat aesthetic vibes. I'm very, very concerned about the idea of there being a Sokovian Borat. Look, my wife, she on floating plea.
She's Sokovian. She's Sokovian fortune teller. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, I spit on her. Wow.
Hang on, Sokovian Borat, isn't it Zemo?
Oh.
Well, that's the tie-in. That's the secret tie-in. Yeah.
See, this is actually going to be a thing, isn't it? Because I forgot that Zemo was actually Sokovian.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I have a funny feeling they're going to keep these shows as separate as they possibly can.
You know what it would be? It would be in, like, they'll have a tragic flashback for Zemo, and he'll be buying bootleg DVDs off her dad.
Yeah. That'll be it.
He'll be buying the Malcolm in the Middle box set, and he'll go like, this Malcolm in the Middle box set, it keeps popping up. It must be Mephisto.
You just said to him, you know what? You're not the boss of me. And everybody will tune out at that moment because it's a terrible.
You'll have nice purple beanie. I give you Malcolm in Middle. 5 krona.
Even though it's not released for another 5 years, is magical Malcolm in the Middle with K.
Sex magical Malcolm in the Middle.
It was Malcolm in the Middle, the pilot episode.
Hey, yes, yeah. It was fully. What's the phrase? Bootleg, and now we will introduce Poke.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
I'm good. Hello.
Okay. Yes. Oh God, it's Poke. Congratulations. There you go. So, are we going to get an entire movie that is the Marvel Sokovia movie?
Yeah, it would be an adult animated series for Hulu and Star.
Yeah, good. So Puck.
after MODOK.
Oh, MODOK.
Is
I don't know
MODOK
how I feel
before or
about
after Howard the Duck?
Oh,
MODOK is first, I think.
and possibly last. Who knows?
Is Patton Oswalt still doing the voice of MODOK? That's what I heard
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
Nice.
I like that Patton Oswalt is getting paycheck after paycheck out of the Marvel universe. He's like, yeah, I'll be multiple people on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, I'll do your voice of MODOK. What else do you want? Come on.
I still see him as Constable Bob.
What's he Constable Bob in?
Justified.
Not in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Justified. Oh, okay, right. Okay, Poke, welcome.
Yo.
What did you think of the show?
Like the whole show, or just this episode specifically?
Oh, look, I think we've spent 8 weeks now talking about the show as a whole. Let's just talk about this last episode.
Okay. I think I mentioned it to somebody earlier as well. It was a nice, neat wrap up in the way that MCU wraps things up.
Yep.
The big boxes got ticked, and the little boxes have been left to venture forth on their own to pop up somewhere down the line.
By little boxes, you mean like Casper Vision, don't you?
Yeah, like, where did he go? He'll show up somewhere. He probably will.
Where did Darcy go? She'll show up somewhere.
Yeah, is Jimmy Woo getting promoted to the head of S.W.O.R.D? Maybe.
Or will there be a new series, Agents of Atlas?
Yeah, like all these little things that are the things that are ripe for speculation that sets the internet ablaze.
Yeah. And also remember that Dion says Paul Bettany needs a paycheck. He'll be back.
He is desperate.
Is Paul Bettany's, in his interview where he said there's somebody I've wanted to work across from the entire time, was it just
talking about himself? Yes. Yeah. Which now I realize that I'm like, oh, you cheeky fuck.
Yeah. They funnily enough, they used the same technology they used at the Golden Globes the other day to get Tina Fey and Thingo in the same room.
That's amazing. I'm angry at him, but I can't stay too angry because it's kind of genius.
Yeah, I did like the reverse of the hex magic, like the runes.
Yeah,
like that whole fight, you're like, oh, okay, okay, she's missing, she's this, and then it's just like, oh, hang on a minute, no, I see what she's done here.
Yeah, that was nicely done.
Though I will point out that somewhere out of nowhere, a witch who has never done any study of magic whatsoever knows how to create multiple runes that are like ward runes.
I mean, like, it's like shonen anime stuff, man. Like, you push the protagonist into a corner long enough and they'll do whatever the plot needs them to win.
Now, I need to bring this up because I've had a few conversations about this with Mr. Quinn, and I believe Mr. Quinn hates anime, I believe he said to me.
Whoa. Jesus. Will, way to throw me under the bus.
Just putting it out there.
Wow. I can feel the internet turning on me as we speak. Like even my partner's son, who just walked past the door, is probably going to come in here and start beating me viciously with some anime figures because
it's always torches and pitchforks for people like you, Quinny.
Yeah. No, I don't hate anime. I have a very specific time of anime that I was right into. There is nothing wrong with anime. It's okay.
You have to ask Quinny. He's the one who hates anime.
I don't hate anime. Okay, well, let's just make it so that Will's very small. I'm gonna say this to you. Actually, you know what? Let's just remove.
Oh,
Oh,
Um,
the all-powerful Oz has spoken.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you will just have a think about what you've done there, William. But yes, so my feeling on anime, I thoroughly enjoy anime. I really have a lot of fun with it, but I was most into it. I'll add you back in. At a certain point in time in the 90s. And then again for a little while in the early 2000s. So around 95 to 96, I couldn't get enough of it. I was all about like Fist of the North Star and Dominion Tank Police and Cyber City 808 and all that kind of shit. Wings of Amnesia, Wings of Oniamis and stuff. Loved that. And then I jumped off it for, I don't know, 10 years or something. And then I came back and I really got into Cowboy Bebop and Trigun. Loved the shit out of those. But and Ghost in the Shell. I really enjoyed Standalone Complex. But yes, Dion and Yuritsuki Doji. Which anyone who knows their anime is all about that. But yeah, the modern stuff I struggle with just because I find the pacing weirdly slow. Like I'm all about Western animation just because it has a pace and style that I dig. So there you go, Will. You've made me go on a fucking diatribe now.
I've tried to get into anime. I've got as far as Ergo Proxy and Black Lagoon, but yeah, a lot of it's just going over my head. I tried Full Metal Alchemist, but I just couldn't quite get there.
I have various other reasons for not going into Full Metal Alchemist.
Sorry to spin this down a road it was never meant to go on.
That's okay. We're meant to be talking about WandaVision, but whatever.
That's fine.
But yeah, so the point I was making was it was, you know, the protagonist has been backed into a corner, and so their powers are whatever is required to get out, which is a very common trope of, you know, Dragon Ball Z and that kind of thing, where it's, there's no way they could possibly do this, and then they do that.
That's a Marvel thing too, though, right? Like, I feel like every movie is just like, they use that thing that they mentioned really briefly in one moment, and then that's how the thing turns around. Like, it's just kind of like a repeated thing.
You know, you just put it sitting on the table, and then, you know, if you saw it and you noticed it, they wanted you to notice it. Yeah,
I think Jedi Vader is on the money here, possibly.
So
that she can create whatever she wants. So if she wants to create the runes, then that's fine.
So she could have just been making up shapes, but it's the idea.
She's just, the idea has been planted of runes restrict magic. I want runes, make it happen.
Yeah. And the best part about that is now Marvel can do a beautiful line in specific dice that are red and sparkly and have just those runes on it. And I'm pretty sure that was just a marketing ploy for an entirely new Marvel board game based entirely around hex dice. That's my theory.
I'm sure there'll be a Hex by Wonder fashion line coming very soon.
I hope so.
Funnily enough,
you can buy it with your Darkhold.
Yeah, get a Darkhold free with every goth dress.
Yeah, you choose which version of the Darkhold you want, though. There are 2 exclusives.
Oh no!
one at Hot Topic, one at Urban Outfitters.
Yes, we are all about that merch.
I feel like I've been promoting a lot of people for free tonight.
You do.
I would like to let people know that I have an email address, and if you find it, you're welcome to send me money through it.
Yeah,
On
absolutely.
PayPal.
So I do want to go back just briefly. I want to say I'm kind of pissed about Fietro.
Why?
I just
not the payoff that we were expecting.
I was always
It
expecting
was-
him to be a nobody.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think they just like teasing people, but it was always going to be just like it was just the Mandarin from Iron Man 3, right? They were like, oh, it's the Mandarin. Oh no, it's nobody, don't worry.
But they fixed that.
Yeah,
But
after,
the Mandarin from
and
Iron
they
Man
still
3
have
was
time
actually
to fix it up.
entertaining.
Yes.
That's true. Sorry, Rob, what was that?
The Mandarin from Iron Man 3 was actually entertaining and very funny to watch when he was revealed. That scene with Ben Kingsley was just beautiful.
Yes. I enjoyed Trevor Slattery.
Yes.
And yeah, if I will always tell people, if you haven't seen it, go and seek out Hail to the King, which is the short film. Because
although they fixed it once, right? And now they're unfixing it and fixing it again.
Are they? How are they unfixing?
Well, because I assume the Mandarin is going to be in Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, right?
I would imagine so. What with it
He's
being
gonna
about
be-
10 rings and all.
Yeah, and it is not Ben Kingsley. So,
No, but it
But
was
Hail
never
to
going to
the
be
King
Ben
fixes
Kingsley.
that.
but wasn't
Yeah.
the whole like Ben Hail to the King thing that he was really the Mandarin, or was
No.
it just that he was
No.
No,
Somebody
it
else
was
was the
agents
Mandarin.
of the real Mandarin coming in
Yes.
to be like,
Gotcha.
"Yo, you used our name and we ain't happy."
right?
Yeah.
It was a long
you
time
made
ago that I watched that.
you made a big mistake, Trevor Slattery.
Right.
Okay. Jedi Vader, biggest unanswered question: who was Jimmy's witness?
Yes. I want to know who that was as well, but that never got answered.
I'm going to assume. Actually, you know who I think it was? It was probably one of Ant-Man's buddies, Ti.
Oh God, no,
Oh,
Yeah, because he ain't coming back.
no.
Real good way of removing him from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I mean,
he got hexed away.
No, he got dusted. He came back and then got hit by a truck when he came back from being dust.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Darcy unfortunately had a bit of collateral damage when she crashed into Hayward's car. So
Yes.
a few people. got
although
killed.
we did see that Jimmy is good at just bluffing. There may never have been a witness in the first place.
That is true. And
You know.
Dion's suggestion is it was actually Gina
Oh.
Carano. We have
Why
somebody
was
else.
Bill Cosby taken?
Yeah. From WA, please welcome Darren. How's it going, buddy?
How are we going?
Hello.
Sorry for the lateness. I was having a chat with someone, and then I realised you guys had went live, and I thought I'll jump on a little bit late.
Okay. I'm actually gonna run now, so you can take over my point. Just make fun of Quinny for the rest of the time, and you'll be fine.
No,
Thanks.
I can't do that.
Ask him about anime.
That's it. You're done.
he'll love
Thanks. Bye. There we go. In all seriousness, thank you very much, Will. It was an absolute pleasure. We'll do it again sometime.
Yes, for sure. Sorry about making fun. I just,
No, you're not. You're not.
a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel bad a little bit. Not really.
Beautiful. Okay. Yes, you are now cancelled. Thanks, Will.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cancel culture has taken another one.
Yes. I feel better now because he was the least bearded out of any of us. So now I feel like we're probably doing well.
I feel
Darren.
disappointed now because I trimmed mine down the other day. So
Yeah. That's it. Oh, no. We've lost Rob.
Oh.
Rob's gone. Oh, that's
just
okay.
curious.
I'm sure he can come back. And if you do want to join in the conversation, the link is there. I will let you talk because I'm nice sometimes. Anyway, Darren, what do you think?
I thoroughly enjoyed the entire thing, if I'm to be honest.
Yep.
Didn't know what to expect. The only thing that annoyed me was the run times of the episodes, and then the episodes actually not being that long. It's just all credits.
Yes.
That annoyed me.
I agree. It's one of my pet fucking peeves is that, the runtime says, 46 minutes or whatever, and it's still only 30 whatever.
That was annoying. Like, I don't know why they needed the credits to be that long, because I know they had some stingers and stuff, but overall,
They were doing the Netflix thing of, okay, here's the English stuff, and now we've got the German voice cast and the French voice cast and the Italian voice cast. Like, it was
that
all...
was it, but even still, like, you still had the animated credits, which went for, 3 or 4 minutes or something like that. And
even the
then
extended Marvel intro as well. Like, they didn't have to do the, what is it, at least 20-something seconds at the start.
Yeah. And
So,
I don't know. I mean, this was all coming down to Kevin Feige basically just going, yeah, no, it's 6 hours. And yeah, as we now know, that was indeed 6 hours of lies.
well, he has come out and said that Falcon and Winter Soldier is 6 one-hour episodes. So we'll see what happens when that comes out.
I'm hoping that is not 6 hours of lies. Is it only 6 episodes?
Yeah, they did. Basically, what the deal was with WandaVision, if you actually put it to 6 episodes, it's technically the 6 hours over 6 episodes, if you do the math. And so he said they thought about doing the 9 episodes again, but he said it was just made more sense just to do the 6 1 hours. So.
Right.
And they've said they'll be changing that up, like, throughout as well. Like, if Loki feels like it should be a bunch of half hours, then that's what it'll be. Or if it ends up that they shoot it all and it's, these look like they should be hour-long episodes, then that's what we'll get.
I don't think they have I honestly don't think I think they have a rough idea before they get in the editing room, but I think they don't have an actual idea until they sit down and put it together.
Which, to be honest, I'm actually
fine.
I'm totally fine with the idea that, the episode is as long as it needs to be.
Yeah, just get out there, tell the story, let it start, let it finish, and then just move on.
Yeah, yeah. And if it has to run long, okay. If it's particularly short, and I mean, I do understand, like, those first few episodes were specifically, they were playing to a trope. They had to be half-hour long.
Yeah. They were, your 25-minute sitcom. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fair. That's totally fine. But as we went on, I kind of wanted a bit more. I felt like, maybe I wanted episode 4 to kind of, expand out.
Yeah, I was happy when they finally changed from the episodic TV show thing and actually gave us some more context, because that was starting to get a little bit much. And I don't think they could have done one more. If they did one more, people would be rioting.
Well, I mean, Feige actually said that was him or them playing chicken with the audience. Like, that was a direct quote of him going, the director of the show wanted it, and he's like, oh fuck, I don't know. This is when either we blink or they blink, and turns out they blinked at the right time.
I think it was a good move to have the first 2 episodes premiere on the same night, because I don't think too many people would have been patient to come back the following week had all we just seen was the first episode.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the first 2, they're the more conceptual parts of it.
Yep.
It's like, here's your 50s sitcom and your 60s sitcom. And so you really only get 1 episode of a solo sitcom, which is the 70s one. And I think that kind of had enough in it with, the babies and booting out Monica Rambeau and everything at the end to go, oh shit, okay, I've got to come back for next week.
So when do we get...
even episode 2 had that thing at the end where, Wanda does the reset when the beekeeper pops up and everything goes to color. She goes, no, not now. But he just does a hard reset.
And that was a good catch to bring you back for episode 3?
Yep.
But I think, episode 3 had to have a lot going on in it to make you come back, because for a week 4, 2 episodes in one night, good move. Then a single episode, and I know a lot of people who were like, no, I'm not into it.
I think they also were pretty smart with the timing of when they aired it as well, because obviously there's been no Marvel out in cinemas or anything. There's been nothing.
Mm.
So it's the perfect time to get product out there and keep everyone happy to a certain extent.
I absolutely, especially.
Let's hope that Black Widow holds its date. So,
which is currently April 29th here in Australia.
Yeah. So, New York cinemas are opening back up, reduced rates. LA cinemas are opening back up, reduced rates. As long as they're open, we'll get it. That's basically it.
But I mean, we're also like, we've got Raya and the Last Dragon. Do you reckon there's any chance of it going to Disney Plus?
Disney Premier. You got to pay a little bit extra to see Raya.
You got to spend $30 to see Raya on Disney Plus. Yeah.
And I'm going to give full props to Disney for some smart marketing in that sense, because the last episode of their series that has been keeping people hanging on for 8 weeks finishes. It's an hour long, and then everybody who's taken Friday night off goes, "Oh, what do we do?"
It's a new movie. Over to Amazon Prime and watch Coming to America too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's true.
Because that's exactly what I did.
Or just see what else is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and find the next free thing.
Star's pretty great. I'm really impressed with what the catalogue that they've added on Star.
I think Star actually makes Disney Plus a much more viable platform. Up until that point, I was kind of like, this is a real luxury item for me.
It's a niche market.
I agree with you 100%. I was pretty close to cancelling. Like, if there was no Mandalorian or anything, I probably would have been gone months ago.
Yeah. Sorry, you were going to say, Rob?
I was just going to say, before it became, Disney Star or Disney X or whatever they want to call it, Disney Plus was a very niche market. It's where you went for your Disney films and your Marvel films, but it didn't really have much else to bring you to it.
Disney knew that as well. They said it in the shareholders call not too long ago that they knew that they had to bring Star forward. I don't think it was supposed to come out this early.
Yeah, right.
And they've got 96 million subscribers, so they're doing something right.
Jesus. Just going back to the comment there that Nebula Jazz Monkey, the credits seem too visual. I'd rather the money spent on the show. I don't think they skimped on money in the show.
No, very expensive show.
No, and I can tell you those credits probably were made and rendered once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exported to a template, and who was in this one? Type, go.
Yeah.
They were made and done once.
Supposedly it was about $225 million to make.
For the whole series?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow. Okay.
Think about it. A normal 2-hour movie is probably about 200.
Yeah.
Technically, it's 6 hours in brackets.
Yeah. But with the ability to actually... Yeah, the ability to save money on sets and costumes and stuff like that. I mean, they put a lot into the last episode. A lot.
That was an expensive episode. You just watch that episode, you go, that costs money. That costs money. They blew that up. That costs money.
Hey,
just car through a house, money.
Yeah, but just the costumes alone.
So where the space truck came in, it was only there for like 30 seconds, but it was very expensive 30 seconds.
Yeah. But it had all the money. So it's good. Yeah. It's honestly good to see that Disney's actually spending like insane money on their product, because it's very rare you see Netflix spend $200 million on a TV series these days. I think Sense8 was the last one that they really spent that kind of money on. And that's part of the reasons why it got cancelled, because it was just too expensive for them.
Yeah. So, and there's a couple of comments in the chat about, thinking of getting rid of Netflix now. I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's still good stuff on Netflix, but I got to say that the loss of all of the Marvel shows from Netflix was a big hit.
No, they lost all the Power Rangers. They can get cancelled.
Oh no.
Well, I'm just wondering how long it's going to be till Paramount Plus launches in Australia, because that just launched in the States yesterday. So
And where are we at
that's
with?
Will that get sucked up into binge? Will Foxtel throw money at it?
No, I doubt it, because Paramount's got one of the biggest film catalogs in the world.
Yeah.
So if you think about how much product Netflix and all that has it on, Paramount could probably fill up the catalog 7-8 times over.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would sell off rights to it. Plus, they have like all the indie franchise. They have all the Transformers franchise.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't great, but overall, they've got a lot of franchises on there. So,
yeah. I'm never going to forgive them for most of those Transformers films.
Hey, they're making a new one.
I liked Bumblebee.
I loved Bumblebee.
Bumblebee was good.
Bumblebee was good. The first live action movie was good, but then the rest just kind of went, nah.
I like about 50% of the second one, about 5%.
There are moments in the
one.
second one.
And then
The third one got
Devastator's balls.
when Mark Wahlberg came into it, I was like, yeah.
Jedi Vader has said Bumblebee was great because something I can't read. I can't quite see what he's saying
John
there.
Cena.
Yeah, I can't
John
see
Cena.
what the last of that thing says.
Sorry, I can't see that. I've got a
Yeah.
blind spot. I don't know what that
You
is.
can't?
It's I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's blurry and I can't.
Am I the only one in the internet land who doesn't understand that John Cena joke?
It took me a
think you
second,
might
but
be.
I got. Yeah. Took me a
At
second.
this point in time, I really wish I had a video of that thing going, it's John Cena. But no, please explain the John Cena.
My Stream Deck and meme gear is all in the kit box, Quinny.
Oh,
So John Cena
damn it.
is a wrestler.
Yeah,
Yep.
just
and
a bit.
his whole
Just a bit.
catchphrase and marketing was "You can't see me," and
because
so
he was moving slowly like John Batista. I don't know.
no, it was just his thing.
Right.
Like he would wrestle you, knock you flat on your butt, so you were knocked out and you couldn't see him.
right.
something.
Okay.
And then so everyone jumped on that as being John Cena is actually invisible.
Right. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just jumping on something, like I just thought about with WandaVision. Sorry to take the John Cena chat away. Have you found it? Go for it.
No, please.
Hang on. This
Yeah.
may or may not work. There's a pretty good chance it won't work because it's struggling. My internet is chugging something fierce. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a little bit blocky too, Quinny. So you might not want to do it. You might drop the connection.
Yeah. If the last podcast is anything to go by, yeah, let's not do that.
So
There we
what I was
go.
going to say was, I'd Paul Bettany in the final episode, like give him the award,
Oh man.
like that bit between the two visions. I'm sitting there going, this is the best performance he's ever given. Like Lizzie's been great throughout the whole thing. Like throw stuff at her, like awards go nuts. But
Yeah. Next year's
Bettany-
award season, there's just going to be both of them.
like Bettany smashed it the last episode. I was just so impressed. I was nearly in tears watching that bit when they're talking about the
Theseus shift.
Ship of Theseus.
that's it. the shit, yeah. I was just sitting there going, it's just so well done. And I wanted, where's White Vision now? Where is he going to pop up? So
Oh man, you know the part that really got me in the heart was them saying goodbye to their kids. I was just like, oh Jesus Christ, like
You knew it was
this
gonna
is- This
happen.
is vicious.
Mm.
Yeah, but now we've got even more reason why Wanda is a complete and utter mess. White Vision
Tim,
fantasy
on.
pack.
Oh.
Oh,
wow.
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
What's
well-
it? Falcon. Dear. Look, I that ending. I have that moment with Wanda and stuff, where I'm like, okay, I can see where they're going now. Like in terms of turning her into, a villain or whatever. Oh, here's trouble. This could go
Oh,
very
Yeah, I
dangerous.
just told him to join, but he said he's still watching it. So
Well,
Yeah,
he's
just-
here
yeah,
now.
aren't you?
Hi, mate.
Hi, Travis. How are you?
I'm good. Hang on, give me a second. I'm getting set up. Where's the fucking camera? Where are you guys?
You know what?
Bye, Travis.
It'll get pretty entertaining when he joins.
Yes. I mean, I'm going to wrap it up sometime soon because we've been going for an hour and a half, but, whatever. Okay, so I'm just trying to think if there are things that we really need to talk about in terms of the show.
I'm kind of glad. So I've been reading Avengers comics for years. Big fan of the Scarlet Witch. Was not happy the way she was thrown under the bus in the comics to make her, the bad guy, just so House of M and all that other rubbish that came afterwards happened. And I'm kind of glad they didn't go down that road with WandaVision. But, I just wanted to be a decent, heroic character. Stop milking this madness and grief stuff. Let her be, a hero.
I think I agree with you 100%, but like the best line in the entire series by far is the I've never experienced loss before. No, I've never experienced loss because I've never had a loved one to lose. What is grief if not love persevering?
Yeah.
I was done.
Yeah.
I was all done. But yeah, sorry, I had to butt in then because I just found the line.
No, that was a great line, and
it was a wonderful line, and it was the kind of thing that I guarantee you there are a whole bunch of writers out there going, "Fuck, I wish I'd had that line in my arsenal." Travis, you're a writer. Did you love the line love persevering, or did you hate it with a passion?
Look, I didn't mind it. I thought that was a perfectly good kind of heightened emotional line for a fucking Marvel flick. Just the internet's reaction, or social media's reaction on both sides of the equation struck me as, well, fucking stupid. But I think did anyone notice the one thing I did pick up on? Did anyone notice the title of the movie playing at the cinema?
My word,
Tannhauser Gate. Tannhauser Gate. Artificial people, more human than human.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, and I don't know. We were only seconds away from having White Vision crying milky tears, somehow.
God, I hope
and then dying in the rain.
Wait, Quiddy, you're in where are you now? You're in Summer Hill, aren't you?
Dulwich Hill. It's like Summer Hill, but duller.
Yeah, close enough. You should come over, man. I'm in Ashfield.
Oh, right. Okay, I will. See if I don't.
Yeah, come and hang out.
Travis, have you finished the episode yet?
Yeah, I finished it. Look, man. I really, really liked the series up until the last couple of episodes, and I will explicate my logic now. And one is that no matter how formally or narratively interesting these fucking things are, they kind of inevitably come down to like people in capes flying around in the air and beating the shit out of each other, and that's not that fucking interesting. Like we've seen this a million times before. Me as a comic book fan, I still enjoy it on some level, but I'm like, oh, come on, you were doing, like, WandaVision was doing so fucking well up until quite recently, and then it's like, oh, we still got to fucking fall back to this shit. I don't think Agatha's a great villain, even though the actress is incredible, because her motives are really like her motives are on the level of fucking Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe cartoon. All right, like, she's evil because she's evil. She's Cobra Commander. She's got fucking there's no real fucking depth there. And I honestly think that because we've spent so many episodes grappling with what Wanda has done, what Scarlet Witch has done to the poor people in this fucking town, like, she's got a cop a flogging for that, man. Like, she has not paid for her sins.
No.
Which is why she ran away to the Bob Ross painting.
Ooh.
And
yeah,
it's an interesting one because you've got to look at it like she's broken. Fair enough. She's hurt a lot of people. Yeah, you can sort of go back to when she blew up the building in what, Civil War? Was it Civil War? No.
Yeah.
I do think it's a good thing now that she seems to figure out how strong that she actually is, and she might actually be figuring out how her powers actually work. But I kind of hoped that Wanda was going to go ape shit, fucking kill everyone, and she was going to be the big bad in this Doctor Strange film.
Oh, that would be fucking rad.
And the end of the series was going to be Doctor Strange coming down and grabbing her or something. That was going to be like the big reveal. But
now,
yeah,
to be fair,
I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not bagging out almost anyone involved in the show. I think the performances, Bettany and Olsen, are fucking great. I think the formal elements, just restaging the old sitcoms and shit, just amazing. Like we've all seen the lighting rigs and stuff that they've used. They really went next level. And I sort of the last, it's probably about 2 episodes ago, I was like, man, we could wrap this up. And then watching it tonight, I'm like,
But how good was Bettany tonight? How good was Bettany tonight?
Oh yeah, Bettany's great. Bettany's fucking fantastic. I just it's the 20th anniversary of A Knight's Tale, so I just rewatched A Knight's Tale where Bettany played fucking Jeffrey Chow. So to write an article about that, which should be up on Monday, hopefully. And man, I fucking love
Lance. Hello.
Sorry.
It's called a lance. Hello.
Yep. Do you know the story about Bettany and what's her face from Labyrinth? Fucking
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
I think I know what you want to say, but go for it.
No, he had a crush on her when he was a kid.
Didn't we all?
Like we all did.
We all did.
And then after 9/11, he got on the phone to her because he knew of aliens. Just like, I'm fucking in love with you and I always have been. Can we fucking get together? And they've been together ever since.
They got married after just weeks of being together.
Yeah,
I thought they met on the set of A Beautiful Mind.
I don't know. I mean, but if I'd have known that was going to work, I would have done that too.
Yeah, but they barely knew each other when they got married. Like, he's just like, let's get married. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
When's
is A Beautiful Mind 2001 or 99? I want to say 2001, but that's 9/11. But so there may have been like I don't think it was a cold call. But
there was some crossover.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't working on A Beautiful Mind, so I couldn't have gotten away with it. I wish that I'd managed to work on Dark City, because then perhaps I could have called her and said, "Hey, I've had a crush on you since Labyrinth," and nobody would have found that weird at all.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Anything that we do feel like was a massive fail, or a thing that
it's not a massive fail. It's not a massive fail. And please, everyone, stick around because I've had all my fucking social engagements until Sunday cancelled on me at the last minute. So fucking, this is like the only human contact I have.
Oh no!
I know, it's fucking dreadful, and I can barely stand most of you. That was a joke. That didn't land well because I'm so socially isolated. I don't know how to interact with people anymore. I just think that the opening kind of movements of WandaVision promised so much that the final movement under-delivered. You know what I mean? Yeah, remember the first 2-3 episodes you saw? Like, they dropped 2 for you guys. I saw 3. And you're like, where the fuck are they going with this? Like, this is amazing. And if you've read, like, Tom King's Vision series, you're like, fuck, what are they doing, man? Like, how heavily are they going to draw on that? And then we get what we got tonight, and it's like, okay, what did that mean? Like, what did that do? Because it doesn't, like, it's tied in with the broader Marvel universe, and it sets up some stuff like fucking Photon, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau.
Mm.
which I always, back when I was just reading the comics, always pronounced as Monica Rambeau to separate her from John Rambo. Because when you just say Monica Rambeau, I'm like, is she invading Vietnam?
John Rambo is actually in space as one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, so
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to get weird.
Yeah, but I just think, and like, it's worth remembering that this is the first proper Marvel series post Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix stuff. So
realistically, this is the first proper Marvel MCU series. Like, even though the Netflix stuff kind of said that it was in the same universe,
they undersold that so much because they'd always talk about the soldier and the green giant and the thunder god, and it's like,
remember the incident?
Yeah, the incident. Have you all heard the rumors about the next Spider-Man film?
I've heard so many fucking rumors about that Spider-Man film.
The best one that I've heard recently is that obviously Spider-Man gets arrested because everyone knows who he is now. There's a big court scene, and in comes bloody Daredevil as his lawyer.
Well, they shot a court scene.
That would be awesome. I would cut off my left dick to see that, and it's
me too.
Fan speculation.
Daredevil from Netflix Marvel, not a random Daredevil. Well, I'm down for that. If that happens, I'm all in.
There is some credence to that because they got casting sides and extras run sheets for a courtroom scene.
Yeah, but that could be anything. That doesn't necessarily mean it's Murdoch, And like, man, I would love to see that particular Matt Murdock on the big screen. I think fucking Charlie Cox is a great Matt Murdock, occasionally let down by really timid writing, but he's brilliant. It's just like What's His Face is a great Punisher. And then when they did his solo series, they decided they needed him to not be the Punisher for like 11 episodes.
I still haven't finished season 2 of that. Like,
why would you? Life's too short.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I really enjoyed the Punisher.
Because, like, I love Daredevil season 2 is like the Punisher show featuring Matt Murdock. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And then when they do Punisher, and at the end of season 2 of Daredevil, he's all set up. He's painted the fucking armor. He's got guns galore, and he's like, every cunt who's bad has to die. And then at the end of the first episode of the Punisher solo series, he's like, I've hung up my guns. And I'm like, no, you never quit. What are you fucking doing? Like, what's going on?
I did like what he did to Ben. I did like what he did to Ben Barnes in the Punisher series, though. For those that haven't seen the whole thing, I won't tell you, but
no, go ahead. It's been years. Fucking spoil it. Jesus Christ. I'm in the spoiler group. I had tonight's episode spoiled to me like fucking hours ago.
No, really? I loosely remember the Ben Barnes character was in his crew to start off with, and turns out Ben Barnes' character was an arsehole for the entire thing, to the point that they had a massive fight on a carousel where his kid got shot, and then the Punisher literally puts his head through a mirror, cuts the living shit out of his face to the point where you can't even recognize him anymore. But honestly, Trav, it's worth watching just for those episodes because the Punisher.
I've seen him. I've seen him.
Oh, you've seen it? Okay.
Yeah, and I think that was season 2. I think that's season 2 of the Punisher, not season 1. Because season 1 just kind of fucking limps along. Sorry, I've got you guys running on a mobile phone on a fucking tripod, and because I don't have the fucking Twitch app because I'm an adult.
It's okay.
I'm dealing with a few interface issues here.
I do like what they did. It is very MCU what they did at the end, though. They put Agnes in the soft jail, where she's technically been taken care of, but if they need her, they can bring her back. Like, they didn't just kick her off. Like,
I don't think we'll see her. Which is sad because Catherine is great.
It'll be one of those things like we didn't think we'd see Zemo again.
True.
Okay,
and he's the
there may be
Oh.
something gendered going on here, and I don't mean you specifically, but it's this idea that we can see sort of men as threats, but women as not, because Catherine Hahn is so entertaining and so fun, and we know her as a comedic actress, that the idea of her being like a big bad is like, I don't really fucking see it. But we can kind of flip flop on like Loki, who can be a big bad and a fucking anti-hero, depending on who's directing the fucking movie.
Catherine Hahn to me can play anything. Like, I love her in everything. Like, going back to Step Brothers days, like that performance in that alone with John C. Reilly when she wants to wrap him into a ball.
I can only say, just have to say it in text. Fuck Step Brothers. I hate that movie with the passion of 1,000 fucking suns. I hate that movie more than any other movie that has ever been made. I hate it more than I hate anime.
Wait, Watchmen. Because that's a dreadful film. Like Watchmen's worse. Watchmen. Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Yes, I heard you. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry that you hold that opinion.
Oh, that's where you're going with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, what we'll do for me is on the unless I get an early fucking hookup on the 18th, you should come around here and we'll pound whiskey, and we'll get through like all of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
You probably have to pound a bit more than whiskey, I reckon.
That sounds like a bad thing for me to be in the same room as Travis for. Then,
actually, I quite liked his. I quite like the Whedon cut. So we'll see how we go.
Jesus
Are
Christ!
you ready for 4.5 hours to end on a cliffhanger because they didn't get to make his part 2?
Look, I'm pretty sure it's only 4 hours. Look, I'll tell you one story. So I saw The Irishman in the cinema, which is like 3.5 hours. And they boozed the stuff beforehand, and the only people who didn't take a piss break were me and David Stratton, and I'm pretty sure Stratton had a catheter because he's old as fuck.
I can still remember we held a screening of Lawrence of Arabia. You came to that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's fucking great.
Like, I'm happy it had an intermission. But that's a long thing to sit through.
The last thing I ever did as introducing any films for in the house was Once Upon a Time in America, and I didn't have much to say about the film because it speaks for itself. But I did introduce the entire audience to the P Break app, which tells you when are the important times within a film where it's completely okay to go take a quick piss. And funnily enough, there weren't many in Once Upon a Time in America. It was all very important.
Gentlemen, just while I've got you here, everyone go quiet because it's rare for him to sit up on the couch next to me because he's still a bit skittish. But this is Marv.
Oh. Hello, Cat.
How's he going, Trav?
I've named him after the character in Sin City because just like that character, he's ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
Clearly a fan favorite. There he is. Look at him. Look at his munted face.
Oh,
it's good to see him sitting up there.
Yeah. That is my rescue cat.
I think he is the perfect cat for you, Travis.
As a man who primarily wears black, it's weird for me to own an all white cat, but fucking
such is life.
Chat, come at the hour, What do you do?
True. Look, guys, we're coming up on 11 o'clock, which means that we've been doing this for nearly 2 hours. And apparently that's what you do on Twitch. You talk shit and just go forever. But
if you leave me, I will cut you.
Now, just before you kill it, Quinny.
Yeah.
Are all you guys in Sydney or?
No. So I'm in Sydney. Trav's in Sydney. Rob, where are you?
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. Oh, okay.
Oh,
no, because I
no.
wanted to know, there was a massive rumor on Twitter about a week ago that Jennifer Lawrence was in Sydney. And I'm like, has anyone
that's
seen
all
it?
bullshit. That's bullshit.
I thought it was. But I thought it was hilarious at the same time because supposedly she was filming Fantastic Four.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Which hasn't got a
saw
script
that.
yet.
Um,
But then again, I mean,
thought-
I do know of films that have been started without a script. So
I do have the
Go
best idea for Fantastic Four if anyone wants to fucking hear it.
go on.
okay,
Well,
you've got 2 minutes. Here's your pitch.
Okay, cool. So you got to set it during the Kennedy administration. It's got to be during the space race. Like we're going to go to the moon, right? Because that's where it's fucking born from. It's that fucking the dawn of Marvel. So it's got to be this fucking very hopeful, very positive, very fucking futurism, but not futuristic kind of take on science and technology and the possibility and wonders of what we can do as human people. But the villain has to be a nihilist, because a nihilist is negative zone. You can fucking jig that. So basically what happens is the Fantastic Four travel into the negative zone to stop a nihilist, and they fucking close off that dimensional gap, but it seals them off from our world. But time travels differently. Time moves differently in the negative zone. So when they defeat a nihilist and come back into our world, it's now. So the Fantastic Four fucking emerge into the modern world with all that fucking JFK, Camelot, space race positivity. And it's like, wow, the world seems like it's in a really tough place at the moment. And it's like, well, it's okay, Ben. I think we can help. And you do that. And then in the mid-credits sequence, you cut to a castle where someone, and we see him from the back, is watching a bank of monitors, and they're in a big throne, and there are some wolfhounds lying by a fucking fire and all that shit. And, there's a press conference with the return of the Fantastic Four, and we just hear a voice say, as an armored fist crashes down on that armrest, Richards. And that's how I'd fucking do it.
You know what?
Trav,
I dig your whole concept.
Start writing.
Yep. I dig your whole concept. It got a little cheesy as fuck at the end, but
hey, if you can't bring in Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four, give the fuck up. And frankly, every on-screen iteration of Doctor Doom so far has been shithouse.
Just Trank surely gave up.
Didn't like McMahon, which is
no, of course not. No, because they've never done that character right. They've never done him right.
I do fucking love the concept of Fantastic Four as like a weird 60s goofy throwback that's trying to understand, the modern times, and they can hang out with no, they can't because he's dead. But I was going to say, hung out with Steve Rogers and gone, this is all pretty fucking weird, right? And he's like, yeah, swearing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But basically, for a live-action Doctor Doom, you need a very evil version of Robert Downey Jr. You need Tony Stark, but you need that evil version of Tony Stark, that arrogant as fuck, but he doesn't believe he's doing anything wrong. Just that real evil Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark vibe.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. did say that he may not be done with the MCU.
That's really
so I'm
good.
sure he's free.
Okay. I was about to crash down that going, fucking Robert Downey Jr. should play Iron Man. Like, that'd be great. Sorry, not fucking Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
That'd be an amazing.
Have another one, Trav.
I'm planning on it. And you could make Doctor Doom an interesting character. So, like, if Latveria is like a remnant.
Yeah, it's near Sokovia.
No, not in next to Sokovia. If you make it like a remnant state from the old USSR, right? And it's trapped between the EU and Russia's current expansionist plans. Then you've got this fucking tiny state with a rich history, which is like trying to carve out its own place in the world. And it's led by this guy who's like, well, I know magic and science, bitches. So like, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that Latvia is not called Latveria, is not, because I think Latvia is real.
Latvia's real.
Like, but it's not crushed between these two fucking economic and political behemoths, and that makes Doctor Doom sympathetic, right?
I want to see Doctor.
Everybody
Doom
can understand
enter
that these days.
I want to see Doctor Doom enter Latvian entry to Eurovision. That's what he should do.
Oh man, they should do that as a fucking as a promotional project.
That would be
like when
the ultimate fucking.
Out, even if it's not officially entered, just like we'll do the video clip for like Latvia's entering a fucking Eurovision. That would be incredible. I mean, if they're letting in Turkey and Israel and Australia, then you know their definition of Europe's pretty fucking loosey goosey anyway.
I love that. Like I'm just somewhere in the background, you know. There is just, you know, somebody watching the Eurovision Song Contest, and you just see the entry from Latveria, and everyone goes,
"Yeah."
I mean,
and it's a bunch of like hot chicks in fucking Iron Man armor, like fucking full cosplay kind of, yeah.
And doing some kind of weird magic.
Actually, no, this is how you do it. This is fucking good. Like, we've come around. Okay. So you do it like the Stark Expo Iron Man dances.
Yes.
But it's Doctor Doom armor, which plants the seed that fucking Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom.
You know, the saddest part about all of this, currently there's only 5 people watching this, and that is not enough people to make this shit actually happen. And I feel like this actually has to happen. I'm very
okay. Do you want to hear my theory about how you introduce the mutants into the Marvel universe?
Okay, very quickly. Yeah, last
very.
One.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the thing is, they were already here, but a mutant coalition headed by Eric Magnus and Professor Charles Xavier have been working to hide mutant existence using Cerebro and Charles Xavier's massive psychic powers to just edit people's memories. So like fucking, and basically they've been trying to hide mutants until like the world's ready for them. And then you know what happened? The snap.
Wanda.
No, the snap.
Oh.
And you know who disappeared? Charles Xavier. And Magneto thought that this was a fucking concerted effort to wipe out mutant kind as a species because half of his friends just fucking disappeared. So he's been fighting a fucking guerrilla war against mankind for the past 5 years. And then at the end of Endgame, Charles Xavier comes back and he sees what his old brother-in-arms is doing. And he's like, fuck, what do I do? I have to found a superhero team consisting of mutants as a fucking counterpoint to what Magneto's doing. That's how I'd fucking do it.
Okay. You know what? I would be in on that. Well done. The worst thing about all of these, and I love these conversations, is that they're almost always far better than what actually gets done. And it always feels like a bit of a fucking disappointment. But you know what? That's okay. Jazz says that he has to go, and I am very much in agreement because it is now 11 p.m. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. Who knows? We might do this again. Yep. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, it's been a great night.
I'm on the internet.
Classy. Awesome. It has been fun. Thank you, guys. And in a couple of weeks, I reckon we might start looking at doing something like this, but for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I'm looking at getting hooked up early for Falcon and Winter Soldier. So if I do, Quinny, I'll let you know. You can come around.
Yeah,
and
you
check
can.
that shit.
Either that, or you can come around to my place. How big's your screen?
75 inches.
Fuck, I'm coming to your place. Right. Thank you, everybody.
It's all tax deductible for me.
Oh, God. Beautiful. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Poke. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Quinny. And thank you to everybody in the chat.
Have a good night,
guys. Bye.